Okay, very happy to be joined by Joshua Onwordi back this weekend, November 15th, at Cage Warriors 180 at the Indigo, taking on Joe Ambler. Josh, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you. And yourself?
I'm good, I'm good. We're recording
Good, good.
this Tuesday. The fight is Friday,
Yeah.
so talk us through how these next couple of days are going to look for you.
Next couple of days gonna be quite calm. I've done all the hard work now, so it's just about getting the weight off really and just flowing into fight night. Really, that's all. I ain't really got not much left to say on that matter.
Obviously, since the last time we saw you on the Cage Warriors main show, you picked up a win in Cage Warriors Southeast, title win as well. It's not often we see guys bouncing between the academy and the main show. So, what's
Yeah,
that been like for you?
yeah. You know what? It's been helpful in the fact that going back to the academy show kind of just solidifies that I can perform on the main show because
Yeah,
I'm performing with the highest guys on the academy show, obviously
yeah,
title fights, and Johnson was 5-0. It was for the title, and so if I can keep winning on that show, there's no reason why I can't be the same on the one above. So yeah, it's kind of just like a little refresher in the mind. Um, yeah, is what it is.
yeah. Obviously, you're coming in this weekend. Joe Ambler is the opponent. Not a
Yeah.
super experienced guy. What have you seen on him, and what are your thoughts? I know you've said before that you don't tend to look at much on your opponents, but what have you seen, if anything?
Fortunately, I watched his last fight in I think Unplugged was in Manchester because I had a student of mine had Vivi Hudson fighting on that
Yeah,
show, and I think he fought just before, maybe two fights before she came out. So I happened to actually see him fight. Um, it was quite that's a go in on his fights, and it just so happens now that we're fighting each other, so stars aligned.
yeah. Um, big card for Cage Warriors as well. The Indigo shows
Yeah,
always are. I spoke to Jimmy Quinn a few days
yeah,
ago. Someone I know you know well. He's on this card too,
yeah.
and he talked about his dance background. Am I right in saying you guys have a similar background there?
Yeah, you can say that. There's
Yeah,
times in the gym where the training's done and we end up just mucking around, and it's like defying gravity. You could do the best out of the two of us. Yeah, no, Jimmy's cool, man. Like known him a long time, trained together, and it's great to see how far he's coming now. So fighting on the same card as him is just added motivation.
yeah. I mean, he's doing great. He's living it up over there in San Diego, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I mentioned that because I was obviously I always do a lot of research when I do these interviews, and I searched you up on YouTube, and
Uh,
uh,
yeah, go on.
I try to find some fights. I found a lot more content than I was expecting from sort of 15 years ago, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, but if I said we talked about the dancing, if I said to you the ultimate finalist, what comes to mind?
yeah. Lots of spinning around. Lots of well, there you go, exactly. So that was kind of like that was a dance competition. Um, Again, big audience on the stage, lights, judges. So it's not quite fighting, but you can see how it's like
Yeah, yeah,
similar.
yeah, and that
And
was Rylan judging you, right?
that was Ryan judging me.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Even Ryan,
yeah,
I've kind of yeah, known for known for a while now too. And I was
yeah.
back in maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the real like question on from that is, how do you go from there to MMA? What's your journey like? Because I know Jimmy said that. I mean, he was on a dance tour and he just found a load of Conor McGregor videos. What's that journey like for you, and what's that transition like? Because obviously, it helps with like the movement and the footwork and things, doesn't it?
Yeah, do you know what? That's the thing. It's kind of similar because when I first started dancing, it was all about trying to like please the audience and get the crowd cheering, obviously winning competitions and doing shows. Then and a few like Britain's Got Talent, a few TV competitions, a few TV like dance videos, music videos, and stuff. And then the transition to fighting, that was just smooth. That was so the transitions to fighting like was the dancing, the college in between kind of slowed the dancing down, and then during college, I was in media, and part of one of my media projects was to film something, and me and a friend decided to film a fight scene, and the gym that I went to was I only went to the gym to film a fight scene there,
Yeah.
and then I saw the mats, the bags, we used the equipment, and then from there I signed up, and then the rest is history. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And obviously, you talk about performing in front of crowds. We know that like being a showman in MMA is kind of the quickest way to get to the top, right? We've seen that so many times. You got to be
Mhm.
a performer. You got to control the crowd, that as well as in being a fighter in the cage. That's so important too.
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. Obviously, it goes the same way. People want to see knockout. If it's boxing, they want to see clean boxing. If it's wrestling, they want to see the damage on the floor. Like it's not enough to just ride it out to decision in a boring way and just win. Like it's not about.
Yeah,
I mean, it is about winning, but to a sense, it's not just about winning on its own anymore. It's
yeah,
uh, it's entertainment as well.
yeah.
And you got to entertain.
You got to stand out and make yourself
You got to
memorable
stand
so
up.
people come back the next time.
True.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people realize how long you've been in the scene because like your first fight with Cage Warriors was as an amateur in 2016.
Yeah.
Obviously we're looking at 8 years now. So kind of what changes have you noticed in that time and what's the growth you've observed?
Um, I feel like the changes I've made has come from just the mindset in general. Like when I first started in Cage was as an amateur, it was more about then I was just hungry to get on Cage was amateur or pro. So I got on there
Yeah,
and I kind of learned some lessons on that show. So the time span comes from me taking time away from
yeah,
fighting to actually progress in the skills, in the mind, how I feel about fighting, how I approach it, and then coming back as a more experienced person in the cage, not just jumping in for the sake of fighting on the big regional scene. So but yeah, I've been there a while. Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
but also like in the scene as well, when you look at kind of the Cage Warriors scene as a whole, what changes have you kind of seen, do you think?
Just I guess obviously as well with the growth of social media from when I started, there wasn't really much
Yeah,
of it. So like you were saying before about people wanting to see um, knockouts and flashy stuff and whatnot. Back then, if you did knockouts and flashy stuff, it wouldn't really get sent to as many eyes as it would do now. So the whole thing in general has just progressed as a complete package. So now you're not just fighting for your friends that bought tickets to come watch you.
yeah,
You step in the cage, you are guaranteed to be fighting in front of thousands at home, across the overseas, not just the people in the building. So that's the biggest change I've noticed. Well, it's the biggest change I've seen in the growth since then.
yeah. And I was one thing that stands out to me, and I know it'll stand out to you as like a media background as well. The
Of course,
production
yeah,
the Cage
yeah,
Warriors have is
huge,
just for a
huge.
regional promotion, it's incredible.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, last time we saw you in the cage, like I said, Cage Warriors Southeast in July. Where has the work been since then? What's going to be different about the Joshua Onwordi stepping into the cage this Friday from the guy back then?
The Josh and Woody stepping into the cage this Friday is going to be even more electrifying. I've got so much I've been working on. I can't wait to finally put it to use. 12 to 6 elbows are now legal, so that'll be nice to see how that goes. But yeah, I kind of just stayed with I kind of just stayed with BKK for this
Yeah,
this one, well, for a while now actually, and we've just been working much more personally with my game and how I should be approaching different situations, and the package is starting to really mold together well now. So I literally can't wait to show off what it is.
Yeah, and obviously that last fight was at 165 as well.
Yeah.
How was that? How was that for you? Do you think that's a direction that more organizations should be looking in, rather than having that big gap
Yeah,
between 55 and 70?
100%. Like the gap between 55 and 70 is is a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot. So the 165 in the middle, it's just a sweet spot. So it just kind of cuts out the whole rubbish of extreme weight cutting and feeling depleted during fight camp, and yeah, it was a definitely a game changer. I do like it there. Obviously, I'll still fight at 155. I can still fight 170 and 165, but 165 in the middle, I think is perfect for both ends. You know,
do you feel more comfortable at 65? Would you say?
I felt more comfortable at 65. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Didn't have to give up too much of the good food to get there either. So that's always a benefit.
All right, cool. Okay, I got a quick fire segment for you now. So I'm just gonna ask you some quick fire stuff to fire through 'em. All right. Favorite
Okay.
food?
Pizza,
Yeah. Favorite drink?
apple juice,
Go-to breakfast?
go to breakfast. You know what's funny? I don't even eat breakfast.
Hmm.
I'm not a massive breakfast eater, so I can't answer that one. Skip next.
Favorite movie?
Equalizer,
Favorite TV
Equalizer,
show?
King of Queens.
Yes, love that choice. Favorite musician?
I've got too many. Michael Jackson.
Favorite sport other than MMA?
This is not quick fire. Uh, Gymnastics.
Yeah, that works. A lot of people just say like boxing. Like,
Football.
yeah,
Well, yeah, I like that. No, more. I need more entertainment than that.
yeah. Favorite fight. So favorite of your own fight, and then a favorite fight to watch.
My favorite fight was the first title win in KG's Academy against the forgot his name now, but I choked him out in round one. and what was the second question?
Um, Favorite fight to watch. Mikhail Ben Simon is the fight you're talking about,
That
right? Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite fight. And then favorite fight
yeah,
I've watched
yeah. To
that I've
watch,
watched.
just favorite fight.
Uh McGregor, Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah. Favorite
Perfect.
fighter.
Max Holloway.
Favorite submission to practice.
More.
Funniest person you've met in MMA.
Brad Pickett.
I gotta be right. The man.
Yeah. He's always laughs when he's around. Yeah.
Yeah. I've spent a couple of days just filming a GB Top Team like a couple of years ago now, and like yeah, he's great.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. Even like whether when I train at the GB top team, or if we're just both fighting on the same card, is just the atmosphere when he's in the room is just banter from beginning to end. You almost forget you're fighting. So pick it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was interviewing Paul Daly at GB Top Team when
Yeah.
he was training there. I think it was for his retirement fight, and he was so like just constantly looking around, see where Brad is. Thought Brad was gonna like like pants him during the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that interview's on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah.
Best piece of advice you've been given.
Best piece of advice I've been given, um, in general,
Yeah,
or about fighting.
whatever you want, whatever you want.
Live in the present,
Nice,
not the future, not the past.
cool. Well, thank you for taking the time today, Josh. So close to the fight, of course. Cage Warriors 180 goes down at the Indigo this Friday. UFC Fight Pass is where you can watch a couple of late changes to the card, but we're looking at 5:30 for the prelims and then 8:30 for the main card with Andy Clamp and James Webb as the new main event. But finally, Josh, give us the hard sell when yourself and Joe Ambler step into the cage. What can the people expect?
When me and Joe Ambler step in the cage, people can expect fireworks, electrifying fight. This is not going to be a boring standoff or a boring wrestling fight whatsoever. You're going to see some new moves and hopefully a very slick finish.
Perfect. Thanks for taking the time, Josh. Best of luck.
Thank you.